Most people spend their entire lives building in only one direction. They chase money and sacrifice their health to get it. They grind their mind into the ground and lose their sense of purpose along the way. They win in one area and quietly fall apart in the others. That is not success. That is imbalance with a good income. The Armored Wealth Blueprint is a different approach entirely. It is a complete framework built across 4 pillars: wealth, health, mind, and spirit, designed to help build a life that is not just financially free, but genuinely unbreakable. Because real success is not about winning one area, it is about building all 4 together, so that when life hits hard, and it will, nothing collapses. By the end of this video, the full blueprint will be clear: exactly what to build, in what order, and how the 4 pillars work together to create a life most people only ever dream about. This is the video to watch before any other on this channel, because everything else builds from here. Here is a question worth sitting with. What good is a bank account full of money if the body is too broken to enjoy it? What good is peak physical health if the mind is so cluttered with anxiety and self-doubt that peace feels impossible? What good is a sharp, productive mind if there is no deeper sense of purpose behind any of it? This is the trap, and almost everyone falls into it. Society is built to develop people in silos. School teaches skills for a career. Gyms sell physical transformation. Self-help books target mindset. And religion or spirituality operates in its own separate lane. Nobody connects them. Nobody shows how each one feeds the others. So most people spend decades doing the best they can in whichever area feels most urgent, and wondering why they still feel like something is missing. The answer is almost always the same. Something is missing, and it is usually one of the 4 pillars. The Armored Wealth Blueprint exists to fix that, to take all 4 pillars and build them at the same time. Not perfectly, not all at once, but intentionally, in the right order, with the right focus. Here is how each pillar works, and exactly what building it actually looks like. The first pillar is wealth, and before going any further, wealth is not the same thing as money. Money is a tool. Wealth is a system, and most people spend their entire lives earning money without ever building the system that makes it work for them. Building the wealth pillar means 3 things. First, understanding how money moves: income, expenses, assets, and liabilities. Most people know their income. Few know their full financial picture. The armored approach starts with clarity, a full accounting of where money comes in, where it goes, and what is actually building value over time. Second, shifting from earning to owning. A paycheck is rented income. It stops when work stops. Wealth is built through assets, investments, real estate, businesses, and systems that generate income independent of time worked. The goal is not a bigger paycheck. The goal is a portfolio that pays. Third, building financial resilience. An emergency fund. Adequate protection. No single point of failure. Because wealth is not just about growing, it is about protecting what has been built so that one bad event does not erase years of progress. The wealth pillar gives financial freedom, but financial freedom without physical energy to use it is just numbers on a screen. That is why the second pillar is just as important, and most high achievers neglect it first. Here is something most wealth conversations completely ignore. The body is the vehicle for every single goal: financial, personal, professional. And most people are driving toward their biggest ambitions in a vehicle they have completely stopped maintaining. Building the health pillar in the Armored Wealth Blueprint means 3 things. First, physical training as a non-negotiable. not for aesthetics, for capacity. Strength training, cardiovascular health, and flexibility are not vanity projects. They are investments in cognitive performance, emotional resilience, and longevity. Research consistently shows that people who exercise regularly make better decisions, handle stress more effectively, and live longer. The body is not separate from success. It is the foundation of it. Second, nutrition as fuel, not reward. Most people eat emotionally or conveniently. The armored approach treats food as information sent to the body and builds simple, repeatable habits around whole foods, adequate protein, and proper hydration. No extreme diets, no obsession, just consistency. Third, rest and recovery as strategy. Sleep is not a luxury. It is where the body repairs, where the brain consolidates learning, and where emotional regulation resets. Cutting sleep to gain more hours is one of the most expensive trades a high achiever can make, and one of the most common. A strong, healthy body produces more energy, sharper focus, and better emotional control. But none of that matters if the mind running the operation is working against itself. Pillar 3 is where the internal game gets built. Every financial decision, every health choice, every relationship, every result in life is filtered first through the mind, which means the most important thing to master is not the market, not the body. It is the thinking that drives every single action taken every single day. Building the mind pillar means 3 things. First, developing a growth mindset. This is not a motivational slogan. It is a scientifically validated framework that separates people who improve from people who stay stuck. A fixed mindset says, talent is what it is, failure is permanent, and challenges are threats. A growth mindset says, skills are built, failure is data, and challenges are the path. Every tool, system, and strategy in this blueprint only works if the mindset receiving it is open enough to apply it. Second, taking control of focus and attention. The average person's attention is pulled in dozens of directions every hour. Notifications, social media, news, and noise. High performers treat focus as a resource to be protected. They build environments that reduce distraction, systems that prioritize deep work, and habits that keep attention on what actually moves the needle. Third, managing internal dialogue. The voice inside the head is either the greatest ally or the loudest enemy. Negative self-talk, imposter syndrome, and limiting beliefs are not personal weaknesses. They are patterns, and patterns can be changed. Journaling, mindfulness, coaching, and deliberate self-awareness are the tools the armored wealth approach uses to build a mind that works for the mission, not against it. A mastered mind drives better decisions, stronger habits, and real results. But there is one pillar that ties everything together, and it is the one most people leave out entirely. Without it, everything built in the first 3 pillars can still feel hollow. Here is something that does not get said enough in the wealth and self-improvement space. It is entirely possible to build all the money, all the health, and all the mental sharpness, and still wake up every morning feeling empty. That emptiness has a name. It is a life without purpose. The armored spirit pillar is not about religion, though for many people faith is a powerful part of it. It is about something broader. It is about purpose, values, identity, and the deeper reason behind every goal being chased. Building the spirit pillar means 3 things. First, defining core values. Values are the invisible architecture of every decision made. When actions align with values, there is energy and conviction. When they do not, even success feels like failure. The armored approach starts with a clear, written set of personal values, not borrowed from culture or comparison, but genuinely one's own. Second, finding and protecting purpose. Purpose is not a destination, it is a direction. It is the answer to the question, what is this all for? When that answer is clear, discipline becomes easier, sacrifice becomes meaningful, and setbacks become temporary. Without it, every obstacle feels like a reason to quit. Third, building resilience through something larger than self. The people who endure the hardest seasons of life, loss, failure, uncertainty, are almost always the ones connected to something beyond their own comfort. A family, a mission, a community, a faith. The spirit pillar builds that anchor, so that when the storms come, there is something that holds. 4 pillars, each one essential, each one connected to the others. Wealth gives freedom. Health gives energy. Mind gives clarity. Spirit gives meaning. Remove any one of them, and the whole structure weakens. Build all 4, and what gets created is not just a successful life, it is an armored one. The armored blueprint in full. Most people spend their lives reacting to bills, to health scares, to burnout, to the feeling that time is passing faster than progress is being made. The armored wealth blueprint is not about reacting, it is about building, deliberately, consistently, and across every area that actually matters. Wealth, so money works without constant effort. Health, so the body has the energy to show up fully. Mind, so the thinking behind every decision is clear, focused, and growth-oriented. Spirit, so every goal is connected to a purpose worth fighting for. This is the blueprint, not a shortcut, not a hack. A framework built for people who are serious about building a life that does not fall apart under pressure. The only question left is which pillar needs the most work right now. Start there. Armor your life. Master your realm.